Are you seriously reviewing the water bucket? We waited over a month for this?
Wait, don't click off the video just yet. I promise I'm being genuine with this. First of all, I'm making this video because the hat video is taking forever and I don't want to go 2 months without uploading anything. Secondly, holy shit, the water bucket is pretty good. Let's start with the stats, shall we? The water bucket is an all-class utility item that costs just 50 francs. It can be used to extinguish your teammates and igniter's fire, and can be used 3 times before it automatically regenerates in 25 seconds. Yep, that's it. Those are the stats. That may sound a bit lackluster, but trust me, it's much better in practice. First off, never use the water bucket on Vardahus, Berezina, or any endless map before wave 20, as there is no threat of igniters. You also don't want to use it on Copenhagen, as you're given a water bucket halfway through the map. Secondly, always equip the water bucket on Priest and Musician, as it's really your only viable option for those classes. Sorry Lantern fans, unless you're having a hard time seeing on Hogamo, the Jack-o'-lantern is pretty useless. Well, I mean, I guess it does look pretty cool. S tier. Alright, now that that's all out of the way, let's actually start the video. The water bucket puts out burning teammates. Well, obviously, that's the entire point of the item. Unlike the stop mechanic, however, you aren't putting yourself at risk performing a lengthy animation, which leaves you vulnerable for a few seconds. Additionally, you can stop people from fully burning by splashing them while they're in the falling over animation? Yeah, that sounds right. This not only saves them from having to spend 6 or so seconds to get up, but it also saves them from taking unnecessary damage and getting the afterburn effect, which if you didn't know makes it so you can't be healed past 50 HP for at least 35 seconds, 50 depending on how long you were burning. The bucket is also insanely good for keeping your buildings alive when playing Sapper, especially on maps like Cobb and Igniter City, which spawn a ton of them during certain holdout sections. But if you really want to get the most out of the water bucket, Endless is definitely the way to go, assuming you're not playing below wave 20. Because all Endless maps just boil down to camping a single area for 2 hours, Igniters can be incredibly dangerous, and according to this article, are responsible for 12.4 team wipes per day. But seriously, always take the water bucket on Endless if you plan to camp. Trust me, it is not fun to just sit back and watch your entire team get burnt to a crisp. Oh yeah, it's also infinitely more useful on hardcore mode. I don't really think I need to explain myself here, fire is more deadly on this mode and igniters spawn a lot more frequently. You know, the water bucket sounds pretty great so far, so why do I never see classes like Infantry, Seaman, and Officer use it? I mean, what could possibly be better than the water bucket? Oh. Yeah, it's no secret that grenades I've seen is a lot better than the water bucket, especially among newer players. I mean, first of all, it costs more, which definitely has a psychological effect on the players that get the item for the first time. And come on, it's just extra damage, so it must be better, right? I mean, you can even equip them on the Sapper class, giving you the only form of ranged damage for that class, allowing you to take out bombers and igniters before they reach your builds, assuming you know how to time your fuse properly. Also, just a heads up, the direction grenades get thrown is not dependent on where you're looking, but rather where your cursor is. I mean, this also sounds amazing, right? Well, there are a few issues I have with the grenades that I feel make it slightly worse than the water bucket, at least on Endless, Cobb, and San Sebastian. First of all, you only get 3 grenades, and there's no way to recharge them, at least on objective maps. On Endless, you get one after every round. Secondly, it's pretty uncommon to get even just 10 kills with a single grenade, unless you're kiting. Then you'll get 9. And while yes, it is tempting to use grenades on Endless because I promise I'll get a 30k this time, guys, is it really worth it to let your teammates burn just because you want a few extra kills? You know what, actually, never mind, don't answer that.
Well, what about using the grenades on a Sapper? I mean, what if a bomber slips past your teammates' shots and ends up right in front of your buildings? Wouldn't it be better to let your teammates snipe the igniters and you could take grenades?
Well, if you're playing on objective, sure, if you want. Grenades are most useful when equipped by the Sapper in my opinion, just because unlike the other classes that can equip the grenades, you have no other ranged option. So it really just boils down to preference. But if you are playing a ranged class, equipping the water bucket over the grenades is honestly just better on most Endless maps. On objective, I'd honestly just take grenades, unless you plan to play on San or Cobb. It's not like the water bucket is this OP item that makes you invincible or anything, but would you rather kill 4 enemies with a small iron bomb, or would you rather save your entire team from being sent straight to hell? You may say otherwise, but personally, I'll play it safe. Hey, Editing24 here. Just popping in to say that the bucket is also useful for clearing paths that have been blocked by igniters. This can happen in many maps, but it usually happens right here on San Sebastian. Not only does this slow your team down, but it can also get you killed if you're playing in a low player server. Anyways, back to current time 2-4. And yeah, that's it. Basically, if I'm playing on maps like Cobb and San Sebastian, I'll almost always take the water bucket because of how many igniters spawn, especially on hardcore. And if I'm playing Endless, I'll use the grenades up until wave 20, just so I can get the most out of my kit. Sorry this video was so short, I've just been burnt out on G&B for the past few months, which is why I've started streaming other games on my channel, which I do every Saturday at around 8 PM PST, tune in if you're awesome. But yeah, like the video if you liked it, subscribe if you'd be so kind, join my Discord to submit art and hang out with my mentally ill fanbase, and this is me, signing out. Goodbye.
You'll never get the horse artillery pistol video!
Alright, my eyes are closed.
That guy's gonna die.
It's probably open by now.